Page 25, Bagatelle by Schumann. Common time, no sharps or flats. We're in the key of C major. Okay. Quarter notes and so forth in the right hand, and eighth notes all over the place in the left hand. Rhythm-wise, it's pretty straightforward. Note-wise, it's pretty straightforward. In the right hand, again, when I start learning a piece, I play it all legato. I connect everything. So just reach the thumb down. Put one finger, however you want, but that's how I do it. So by playing it all legato to start with, it helps me figure out a fingering that works for me. And then I'm going to measure 7. The first E's with third and the second with fourth. And so forth. I don't see a lot going on there. And going on, scrunch up again. We're just kind of going up the keyboard. Okay, left hand is this Alfred bass pattern moving around here, and you have treble clef in both stabs. So you're up here. On the last two measures you have here, and they're saying a 2-1. This accommodates going to here. I don't like the idea of having to do that, but I want to be able to connect it. Unless you have a really big hand to do that, then you're pretty much stuck with doing 2-1. The end of the second line, the last second finger, this accommodates the F. That note on the third ledger line below the staff is an F down here. You may not be able to connect it if your hand's not that big. Just come down if you can't. But that second finger helps. Get you a little closer to it. And second finger there. They're saying fourth finger. I recommend third finger if you can, because you're here and that you're in this position is what it is. And then going on, so just do that. At the bottom, the last couple of measures, you get that again. Put the hands together. Again, it's still all connected. That I have to play it all, but the idea is still try and connect it all together. And when you can do that, then we can put in the slurs. You're just going to lift up between each slur. It's like taking a breath, and you have slurs in each hand, and it looks like the slurs in the hands go together. So you're lifting up both hands. That's kind of unusual because in a lot of pieces, maybe it's just this edition, the way the editor's done this, but a lot of times the left hand will be connected all the way through. It won't lift up. It's only the right hand that would lift up. So it's like in the third line down, I could pick any line, but the third line down would be, if I connect the left hand, not the right hand, it'll be that. So forth. I'm a little uncomfortable with their slurring there at the end of the third line. To me, no, because you started out at the beginning with a pickup. So to me, down here, those last two notes in that last measure, the third line, that's part of the pickup. I wouldn't separate those. If anything, the slur should end between the second and third beats and measure 12. So starting out on that line again, it was lift up, there, lift up there. Don't lift up at the end of the measure. I think that may be an error because that just doesn't make sense to slur all. No, maybe Schumann wanted it that way because he's, sometimes composers switch things around on you. They're not expecting it. But otherwise, I would connect the last measure, or measure 12, I would slur that into measure 13. I wouldn't lift up. And in the left hand, the slurs, I don't understand what they're doing here, because starting at measure, pick up to measure 9, it's all. It's like those two notes, the last note in the third line and the first note in the next line are by themselves. I disagree with that. I don't know why he would do that. But if you're going to lift the hands up together on the slurs, I'd lift the left hand up with the right. Whatever you do with the right hand, do the same with the left. Although I think it might be better if you played the left hand all legato. So at the end of that line, on measure 12, it would be here. I'd lift them up both between beats 2 and 3. And then connect them all. So forth. That's how I would do it. Your teacher will tell you how to do it, I'm sure. The dynamics, well, it's soft, and that's the right hand. The left hand has to be very soft, and this whole thing is kind of gentle. It's soft. So forth. You get the end of the third line, you got a swell. You get a little louder and soft. You might come up to medium soft and back down to soft. Don't get loud. You can sort of put in those swells in the other places too, even though they're not marked. It's part of interpreting the music, because you're not going to play the whole thing at exactly a soft level. You're going to get a little louder and softer after you get to know the music, and you're not thinking about the mechanics of playing the right notes. You're listening to this melody line. So at the end of these phrases, come down, and then you could take off again. So forth. At the end of the second line, come down. And then take off again. So forth. So you feel these things. It's part of interpreting it. Also in the left hand, you can finger pedal the bottom note. It's sort of a counter melody. Not finger pedal all of them, but you can finger pedal most of them. So forth, something like that. Try different things out. Speed wise, it just says not fast, because the tendency is to take off on this. I keep pushing, I keep trying to hold back because I want to just play it. And it's not intended to be, it's a bagatelle. It's got to be sweet, gentle. Here. Forth, something like that. I like to play this with you very slowly to double check the notes and the rhythms. I don't know that that's really necessary, but I've been doing it on all the other pieces, so I'll go ahead and do it here. I'll give us 2 counts because there's a pickup measure. We come in on beat 3. So let's try it slowly, and we will take the repeat. Ready and go, and.